In a world where ordinary men can excel doing ordinary things, this man has single-handedly lowered the bar. From the scrambled mind that brought you Mad Madness and Beagle Rare comes this underwhelming Friday night special event. Matt Porter is the Blendigeddon 2 World Champion and the 2020 World's Top Whiskey Taster. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glass and shake your ass for ADHD Whiskey Live.
Get off of there. Man, I'm bad at this. 6 years, you'd think I'd be better at this. No, just terrible at it still. Just, learning my ways. Figuring it out. Seeing what's, just getting used to what's happening around these parts. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday night. If you are new to the channel, my name is Matt. If you're not new to the channel, still Matt. Still me. Is my microphone muted? Looks good from here. Looks good on this end. Hopefully everyone's having a nice evening, a nice pleasant Friday evening. If you're not, then put a smile on your face. Find yourself something place. Bill Kavanaugh's up in the hizzy. Got a brand new box of samples from Mr. Kavanaugh. A lot of them are in the 1 ounce Wednesday box. I have some other ones sitting here that I might go through later. Who's to say? Got Green River Pick, Alec Bradley Uncut series. We're going to taste this tonight. Got a couple bottles. First time ever that I've got anything from Crittendens. We'll taste through those. It's going to be a pleasant evening. If you're up for a pleasant evening, then give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Eric B's in the house. My mom is here. Hello, mother. Hello, lovely mother. Eric is here. Randall Erickson. What's going on? Stephen Johnson is here. Flex Luther. Rum drinks. Every once in a while, chat. We have some rum drinks. Nice. Griff is in the house. Nick Altman. What's happening? Frank is here. Been wanting to try Crittendens, which is the one to get if only one bottle. I don't know. I've never even tried it yet. I have two here. One's the Moth Man. And the other one is the cut above bourbon finished in sherry casks. Sent to me by a viewer who shall remain nameless, but thank you very much, viewer. Very generous of you, very kind. Appreciate the heck out of you. See, Kyle Ramage is in the house. Crittendens, that... Is it Missouri? No, Missouri's M-O. M-S is Mississippi, right? Yeah, M-O is Missouri. M-I is Michigan. M-S must be Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-S. Whatever. Derek Wilkinson's in the house. Chris Miller, what's going on? Matt's Palace says, Lake Fork guy. Jeff Perkins says, cheers to the weekend all. Absolutely. Absolutely. The best bourbon mouth on the interwebs. I should be getting my final teeth literally any day now. Just waiting for them to respond to my messages. Amber Lana's here. Sean Holgrave. Brian Vaughn. That Brian Vaughn is one piece of ace. No idea how to pronounce Telford 1K. Looking good, sounding good. Nice. Doing great. Chris Reister is here. Matt, happy Friday. It's Whiskey Friday. It is. I think every Friday is a Whiskey Friday. Even if I'm not around. It should be. It definitely should be. Trimmed beard and hair, family picture time. I don't know if I'm quite family picture ready. Maybe from here up, you know, living large again, as they say. Matthew is alive, that's right, Buffalo Joy. Crittendens are splendid, that's good to know. They're splendid, he says. Mixers 10, 2024 today, right before the snowstorm. Where are you at, Flex? Where is it snowing at? Where are you being snowed in at? House Bourbon, what's up, House? Hey, Matt, do a burnout. Let me do a They're just rolling some, just burning some good years. News about whiskey. What's everyone drinking tonight? Oh, wouldn't you like to know news? You gonna broadcast it everywhere and tell our whole world our business? You son of a bitch. That's a joke. Mr. Anderson is here. He's in the house. Christian Mojito. Mojica. Got the J's got to be silent. It's got to be. Why would they name some name states with the start with this? And well, okay. Well, the other thing. Remember when Ford had the Ford Fiesta, the Ford Festiva, the Ford Festival, and the Ford Fiero? What the hell? How could you even, what would you, how? They all sucked too, but, you know. I'll take any of the F cars that effing suck. Bourbon and Brews is in the house. Chad Gazinski is here. Crittenden wax is a pain. I've heard you can just twist to crack. I cut mine. Good luck. Well, I am so strong. Just crack it right open. Probably break the damn neck off the bottle, you know? Oh, you're in Boulder, eh? Yeah, not a lot of snow happening on this side of the mountains. A little bit, not much. Hatch Green Chili Man. Are you from this area too? Are you from Colorado as well? What's up, Matt? Just checking in, trying this art. Just, wow. If I could read, it'd be a miracle. It would take a miracle, they say, for me to read again and read Green Chili Man's. Just checking in, trying weather this. Trying to weather this Arctic air. It wasn't my bad, it was your bad. You screwed that up. I read it, how you wrote it. I didn't know I had to put words in there for you. Sup, Matt? Just checking in, trying to weather this Arctic air. That makes total sense. Had you written it right? Yeah, it's chilly over here, too. It's been getting pretty cold at night. My kiddos are in the Learn to Skate program right before they start hockey. I guess my girls are going to play hockey. I don't know. They signed up for hockey, Learn to Skate before they watched hockey. Then they watched the Mighty Ducks and they're like, why are they hitting each other and being so rude? Winter sucks. Agreed. Totally agree. That's why we moved away from Upper Michigan, because we couldn't do it anymore. This is like the perfect winter amount here because it's little snow. It does get cold, and cold is good for you. You can't just live your life being warm all the time and sunned. You need a little bit of cold to really bring everyone together and, you know, just realize that some shit sucks as a community. You know what I mean? If everything was perfect all the time, it's turned into a bunch of assholes. There's also the Ford Probe. What a name. Ford Probes. First generation one's kind of ugly. Second generation Probes were pretty sweet. I mean, they were shitty, but they looked kind of cool. Used to carpool in a Ford Probe. That's not a really good carpooling car, but all right. Hatch Green Chili was the first thing my buddy and his wife had me eat when I visited them in Durango. Yeah, what time of year is it? Fall, is it? When the Hatch Green Chilies are really like banging? So cold on the East Coast. Put on a sweater. Put on a sweater. Get some hand warmers and, scarf it up. Keep your feet dry and your hands warm. Your ears warm. Nobody likes cold ears. Heat wave today, high temp of 40 degrees in West Virginia. Kids went to school for a total of 3 days so far this year. Was it snowing? Or is it just slightly below freezing for most of it? Keeping the kids home when it's 40 degrees outside? What on planet Earth is happening? Florida, 57 currently. Ooh, 57. Not bad. Global. Ford Focus, Fairlane Freestyle. You know what I think the weirdest... I'm going to look this up and I'll share it. I think that the biggest waste of a vehicle name ever is this. Because when you think, if you said, hey, what kind of car do you drive? And you told them what kind of car you drove, and they knew nothing about cars other than names, you would think that they drove something so sweet. Here it is. Let me share this. If someone told you that they drove a Dodge Nitro, that's a Dodge Nitro. That is the worst name for that thing ever. A Nitro probably should not be shaped like that. A Nitro should probably be rear-wheel drive and have a big engine. Manual transmission, maybe. That. Who thought that that was a great name for that? This thing reminds me of Nitro. No. Not around here. Watching from Buenos Aires, Argentina. It was 98 today. Damn. Hey, welcome. Thanks for watching us from paradise. Foot and a half of snow this week. Nice. It's good for you. It's good for you. As long as you're not Texas and their electrical grid can't keep up with heating demands, that's no good. But some good snowbanks, some snow drifts, a little shoveling, little sniffling, little you know what I mean? It's good for you. Snowing and cold weather, anything single digits with wind chill, sub-zero, they cancel. Yeah. When I was a kid, the Nitro, dude, only to be rivaled in ugliness to the Pontiac Aztek. The Pontiac Aztek was at least unique. And the Pontiac Aztek looked kind of like a Cybertruck. Kind of like a Cybertruck. A plastic Cybertruck. Nitro was the name of American Gladiator. Nitro was the king of the conquering. Yeah. How do I know that? Because he was my favorite American Gladiator. I think he was a football player. No, I think he was a wrestler. Before American Gladiators. I don't remember. King of the conquering he was. Some big fender flares. Ford Fuglies. Challenger, Charger, good name. Pontiac Sunfire is a little deceiving too. No, I think Sunfire is like a little Spitfire, like a way to go sport. You know what I mean? If it Sunfire kind of, yeah. Dodge Stealth was pretty sleek. Whew. The twin turbo, all-wheel drive Dodge Stealths. Hells yeah. The sister car to the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. The Stealth RT was awesome. Some of them were even, I'm not sure if the Stealths were, but some of the 3000 GTs were all-wheel steering, all-wheel drive, twin-turbo V6s. And they look beautiful. And I chose a bold name for that vehicle. I totally agree. No, listen, I don't have mesquite on my breath, but I do. This did happen. So I was cleaning up some glasses from here to bring them into the kitchen. And do you ever like have too many Glens in your hand, but you put them between your fingers, and then one of them just like happens to not be upright? That was the mesquite one, and it spilled on my pant leg a little bit. So it does smell a bit mesquite-y in here. All right, let's get this started off right. This is how we start off live streams. It's with a blind pour from a 1 ounce Wednesday box. I don't have any. Oh, I'm falling apart. Ugh. There it is. There it is. So, it's full to the top. That bugger. Full to the top. And, oops, I missed. I missed. Ah, crap. Got one. Well, put it in my pocket. There. I'm tied to this microphone cord pretty heavy. I don't have anywhere to put the box. Unless I move my bowling balls off the barrel. But then that's 30 pounds that I gotta find spots for. I need to redesign this area for sure. Kicking shit over. Everything's a mess. Got a glass. Got the pour in my pocket. Now, get this in focus. No spoilers in chat. No spoilers in chat. If you can read it, then read it. But don't spoil it. Focus? Yeah, okay. I don't even know where the label is at, but hopefully you can see what it is. All right. America. Oh. Some went on my leg. Some went on my shoe. Hopefully that's nothing that people will be upset about. People getting upset about everything lately. You know what I mean? Really upset about stuff. Like a little bit of a rant. Ooh, that smells nice. The Rye Whiskey of the Year video. Come on, people. Come on. Not everyone. The majority of you, super cool. Some of you, though, jeez Louise. Oh, none of us can find this stuff. I put basically like pretty easy to find shit on there if you're following the right people. You know, if you live in the right area. I should have done E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye. It's friggin' Thomas H. Handy. I mean, then I can receive a bit of shit. But nothing on the list was like extra super allocated. It's just like, they're kind of niche, kind of unique. I can't even read comments on those videos. I can't do it. Can't do it. Because then it raises my blood pressure and doctor says, not good. The Buick Rendezvous. The Rendezvous, as we call it. Pacer was an all-time beauty. Central Mississippi here, anything sub-freezing with precipitation, they shut down school. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're not prepared for it, then, yeah. The Grand Prix, oh, I have been the proud owner of a couple Grand Prix. Both the GT version and the supercharged GTP version. Ooh. This smells slightly familiar, but, huh. Oh, wow. Actually, what in the world? I swear the swirl job is the key. Once I swirled it, it got really, really like spicy, cinnamony kind of. Or like, It's like, if you had, you know the boxes of Mike and Ike's that are just the red flavors. They're just the reds. I think they're called they're like reds only, or like farmers don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's only the red colored Mike and Ike's, which are the best. But if you got that box and then you sprinkled in hot tamales inside of that, it's like a blend of red Mike and Ike's and hot tamales. Maybe not. Yeah. Also, for some reason, it reminds me of a completely fake note, but the flavor blue raspberry comes to mind for some reason. It's like a Jolly Ranch. It's very candy, like gas station candy. Jolly Ranchers. Interesting. I don't know quite what we're dealing with here yet. 3000 GT was a cool rig back in the day. The 3000 GT, I always wanted one. Always wanted a 3000 GT. But another speed car from that era, the 300ZX twin turbo, the Nissan. They had like T-tops, two-door, two-seater. It was before the 350Z. It was the 300ZX. Dude, some of those cars, just beautiful. And they were fast back in the day. By today's standards, not fast, but, 90 standards, hella fast. Huh. This is throwing me in all different flavored directions. Like, there's almost an artificial banana on there. I can't tell if this is a bourbon or a rye yet. Part of me is leaning towards it could be a rye. Interesting. All right, down the hatch. Cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks for being here. Here we go. Ooh, that is nice. It's lighter than I thought it would be. It's not quite as like powerful as I thought it could be. Huh. Super sweet. The palate almost makes me think Buffalo Trace. But I didn't get that on the nose at all. I do want to put this in the chat before I forget. I need to pin this. Where am I at? Create, go live. Manage. Here we are, in there. Now, I go to the sorry, I know. It's a whole thing. Where is... Crap, can I get to the... Creators adopting live automated mid-rolls. I don't like putting... Wow, really? Creators adopting live automated mid-rolls saw on average over 20% uplift in-stream ad revenue per hour. Oh, that makes sense. I thought it was saying in ad revenue, period. I didn't finish the sentence. No, I don't put ads in my live streams. Unless I've done it a couple times after the live stream has already aired, but not when it's live. Oh yeah, what was I doing? I was gonna add this. Oh, it's right here. Super, nope, that's not it. Oh! We're getting there. We'll figure some stuff out. Here we go. Then, oh yeah, we are so about ready to do it. I just bang, hit the paste, bam. All right, then can I pin it? Pin message. Oh, there, we did it. The Alec Bradley Uncut series, link is in the description. It's also a pinned comment. $79, get yourself a 130 1.6 proof Green River pick, which I'll taste next. And it's paired with 3 of the Alligator Char Alec Bradley cigars, which are, I tasted my first cigar in a very long time yesterday because of my teeth thing. A great pairing. Really, really great. All right, let me see here. How far? I'm, what, 9 minutes behind? Shit. VR4 was good in Gran Turismo 2, was it? Gran Turismo was an awesome, friggin' awesome video game. Huh. The nose has me so confused. I'm going to put this at like 94 proof-ish. I don't think it's 100, but I'm not sure if it's quite down to 90 proof. It might be 100 proof. In that area. So it's lower proof, but it is viscous and thick. It's sweet, it's cherry, it's creamy. The low proof on it doesn't really take away from it at all. This is a super good sipper. Like, a lot of the things in the box aren't your average everyday sip, like your average everyday sample. Some things are. Hopefully this one is. And if it is, this would make one hell of a daily, they call them. Damn. 7.9. Very, very good. Very, very, very good. It does get a bit. Third sip was a bit like a bit barrel tannic-y on the back, a little bit of barrel tannins, like sharpness, but that's, I already scored it. I'm gonna stick with it. What were we drinking? This is Blood Oath number 8. Holy shit. That's the best. Wait a minute. This is from 2022? Maybe I'm in a generous mood tonight. I haven't had a Blood Oath anything in a while. That hit me nicely. I'm pretty sure that it didn't. I've always said that the Blood Oaths were good but too low proof. That time the proof didn't really bother me. Was it my first sip of whiskey for the day? Yes. Did that have an effect on how I felt? Probably. But no shit. Blood Oath number 8 I really liked. Said it was very, very good. Very, very good, I said. All right. Thank you, Bill Kavanaugh, for that sample. From 2022 it was. Sheesh. Better than getting mesquite on your toes? Yes. Is that 1 ounce of whiskey in your pocket? That's funny. Dude, the Neon SRT4s? Whew. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was front-wheel drive. So the SRT4s were like torque steer. Lots of torque steer. But once they got traction, you'd race them a roll in the Neon SRT4. I can't do that. There are some people in the world who you don't want to make angry. And a couple of them are named Beyonce and Jay-Z. So it will be nice. Warbringer again. Dude, that is one hell of a pour. One hell of a pour. Bowling shoulder's good. I'm back to bowling right-handed. My bowling right-handed, very, very good. I'm being drastically inconsistent now with my right hand. But I'm back to bowling right hands, feeling pretty good. Knock on wood. All you want to do is complain. Weirdly, yeah. Toppling glass sits on shelves here. Right? I mean, so like in the video where I say that Evernorth Arctic Spirit is the best rye whiskey of the year. People say in the comments, Arctic Spirit nowhere to be found, bro. Can't find it. Pfft. Like, oh, then they go into the thing about Dan and Sean being my friends. Yeah, they are my friends. But guess what? What I do here on the channel supports my family. And if I were to say that something is the rye whiskey of the year, just to help my friends and then somebody tasted it or a group of people tasted it, or heaven forbid, hundreds of people bought bottles and it was garbage, then that hurts me and it hurts the channel, and like all credibility is gone. I'm not going to waste my credibility on being nice to Dan and Sean talking up a bottle that's sold out a long time ago. That's not, I love that bottle. That's why it's my rye whiskey of the year. And if it's unavailable and you can't find it, instead of bitching about it, how about you just say, hey dude, how do I find the next one? Can you tell me how to get these bottles? Because it ain't hard. America. This is the Uncut series, Alec Bradley, single barrel from Green River, 131.6 proof. It was, where the hell are they at? Oh, they're on top of my refrigerator. Shit. The link pinned comment is, if you click on that link, it brings you to Bourbon Outfitter where you can order this bottle, and you get 3 of the Alligator Char Alec Bradley cigars that Alec paired with this bourbon for 79 bucks. It's a hell of a deal. If you use code ADHD, you save 5% too. Use code ADHD, save 5%. Anytime you shop at Bourbon Outfitter. Ooh. Oh. Shit. I think Alec got a really... When I tasted this, it was with the cigar, so it was paired. I have not tasted this by itself yet, and I think he got a really good Green River barrel. Just based off the nose, this smells. It's my Green River pick is like sour green apple, Jolly Rancher, a caramel apple sucker kind of thing. This is more bold and like. It kind of shares that same note, but in a burnt kind of quality, like a burnt sugar. Okay, like if you roasted one of the sugar daddy caramels over a fire and it caught on fire like a marshmallow would. Yep. It smells like hot caramel, burnt sugars. It smells so good. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Alec, how'd you get that barrel? Come to find out, Alec's got some skills. Alec has some skills. After the day in Louisville that we had, when we went to Michter's and we spent the entire day with the Michter's crew, like their friggin' president, Alec pulled some strings, and you had a damn good barrel. Dude, I think this is better than mine, like, significantly. It is, I don't think I've ever had a Green River taste like that. None of the single barrel picks I've tried. It's not, it's still sweet. And it's bold, but it's like, it's almost like it's older. It almost tastes older than the stuff I've tasted. Because it's like a layer thicker and a layer deeper. Shit. Even if you don't smoke cigars, that is a hell of a single barrel. I'm jealous. Alec, that's a hell of a pick, dude. And I'll taste it against mine, probably on my own time, just so I'm not like publicly upset at myself or upset with Alec for pulling strings that he pulls. How do you do it? By the way, this live stream is brought to you and me by Alec Bradley Cigars, the finest cigars on the planet. If you're a cigar smoker and you don't smoke Alec Bradley cigars, then you're hurting my channel, okay? Come on. Everyone's spending money like crazy nowadays. Go buy a walk-in humidor and fill it with Alec Bradley cigars and tell them Matt Porter sent you. Ooh, Bonneville SSEI, also supercharged, yep. So the Bonneville SSEI was supercharged. I don't think that there was there ever a Monte Carlo that was supercharged? No. Or an Impala? No, I think that the Grand Prix and the Bonneville were the only two. Oh no, the Buick. There was a Buick Regal that was supercharged as well, at the same 3.8 liter. L67 motor it was. Man, my brain remembers things that it shouldn't and forgets things that it should remember. 15 stars is so damn pricey for the juices. What are we talking about? 15 stars. Oh, is 15 stars a whiskey? I think that it is, right? Dodge Daytona Turbo, those are a little bit older. Yeah, 300ZX was friggin' sweet. Ah, I knew a guy who had a Corrado. Pretty neat little cars. Alec, we're talking everything, dude. Over the last few weeks, we've done a lot of Whiskey of the Year talk and a lot of Barrel Pick of the Year talk. Let's just shoot the shit. We'll drink through some samples. These Crittendens things, I got some samples from WJK that I could blind. But yeah, we can talk cars, we can talk friggin' bowling, we can talk golf, even though I know nothing about golf. We can talk about it. Tell you how much I don't know about it. Tony Bag of Donuts is here. The almighty Chevrolet Chevette. Not quite a Corvette, but it's when you drive the wrong type of vet. You know? Stag 24D is Michael shit, that's a hard last name for me. Aberl. Matt's Palace, oh my gosh. Eagle Talon wasn't a cool, nice car. So I've owned a 91 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX that is slightly modified. Brought it to the drag strip once. 13.2 at 107 miles an hour. Shitty 60 foot. But it was a 12-second car. And then I owned a 92 Eagle Talon DL, which was the 1.8 liter non-turbo, 5-speed, the slowest car on the planet. Ran into a drunk guy in a minivan in Upper Michigan with it. And normally I would have been ticketed for driving poorly, too fast for conditions probably. But he didn't want me to call the police because he was halfway through a 30-pack in his front seat. Sorry, guy. Hey, World's Greatest Whiskey Taster. Oh, what's up, Whiskey Juice? What score did you give Russell's 15 year in your top 10 of 25? I haven't put out my Whiskey of the Year video yet, but it's fighting for its top. It's fighting. It's probably my Whiskey of the Year. It's right there. So either that. There's a couple things fighting for. I mean, it's top 3. It's probably my Whiskey of the Year. Russell's 15 is amazing. Hell yeah, and the Eclipse all-wheel drive turbo. They're the best. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about my rye video. Let's open this while we get into that. Should I do the Moth Man? Let's do this one first. Crittendens cut above. bourbon whiskey finished in sherry cask. Sha-la-la. By the way, unnamed provider of bottles, thank you very much for sending these. Appreciate the heck out of you. Let's see if we can just twist it. Come on. The old Eddie Bravo twister. Oh no, it's... Wait, not twistable. Dry my hand off. I do have sweaty paws. Oh, now we got some torque with the shirt. Oh yeah, it's coming off. I think I just had an aneurysm. Oh, dude, look at this. Look at this shit. That's how strong I am. I tore the whole wax away from its entire body. I just got to pull it off. America. We did it. We did it. Crittendens, cut above. Bourbon whiskey finished in sherry cask, distilled, aged, and bottled by Crittenden Distillery, LLC, Kiln, Mississippi. So, give credit where credit is due. First time I ever heard of Crittendens, Bruzel. Bruzel was the first person I ever heard talk about Crittendens. It's a 4-year, 106 proof offering. Oh, I love these. My favorite type of bottles. Look at all that writing. Oh, love it. I love a bunch of writing. Let's actually get deep into this writing. Oh yeah. Little music. Do-do-do-do-do. Crittendens, cut above. Continues our proud history with sherry cask Mississippi spirit. This spirit begins with whole grains that are ground fresh daily, fermented, distilled, aged on site at our distillery in Kiln, Mississippi. We don't source any of our juice or blend others' distillate with ours. We give you a true Mississippi spirit using grain from Mississippi, water from our well, and age in our own rickhouse. Not many small distilleries can say those things. It's true. Pretty sure I just saw the word sex in the middle of the next paragraph. For some reason it caught my eye. Don't ask me how or why. We'll see if it's true. This sherry cask was an experiment undertaken to satisfy the more delicate palate of the fairer sex. I was right. Didn't know how they were going to use it, but that makes total sense. But wait, what does that even mean? This sherry cask was an experiment undertaken to satisfy the more delicate palate of the fairer sex. Oh, so it's made for ladies in the Crittenden family. They have assured us we have a winner. Doc and Matt consumed a fair amount as well and had to admit they were right. This sherry cask has quickly become a Crittenden family favorite. Whew. We make this fine spirit by selecting 4-year-old traditional bourbon from our rickhouse. We blend this would-be bourbon and fill sherry cask imported from Spain. We blend this would-be bourbon and fill sherry cask imported from Spain. Not necessarily a sentence I understand, but by doing this, we can no longer call the spirit a bourbon. The spirit is allowed to age a while longer, extracting sweet, dark fruit flavors and toasted French oak sherry cask. Then at the right time, we bottle small batches of only 4 to 6 casks. We have chosen to leave this exquisite spirit at 106 proof, so you can enjoy the full flavor. As always, Crittendens cut above is 100% natural. All right. That was a lot of reading. But if you don't read, you'll forget how. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. What, oh my gosh, look at the color on that. Good grief. The color on it is dark. Dark. Smells like wine. All right. I've been getting myself into more and more of these sherry cask wine finished bourbons and wine finished rye a lot. So not a better time to taste it as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Cherry baby. Cherry baby. Cherry baby. Cherry baby. Man, that smells like whiskey and wine mixed together. I would imagine that sherry cask was wet. That's a wet cask. But it smells very good. No youthful notes are coming through. It's 4 years old, but it's craft distillate, so you would imagine that there would be some farminess or some weird craft notes coming through. Fortunately, it is powered by wine. Just got Final Flight and sipping on it. Have you done a comparison between Turkey Bomb and Final Flight? No. I don't think I have. I think I compared Turkey Bomb to other Russell's picks, but not Final Flight. Will you please be my father-in-law? I cannot be. I am happily married, but you can email me pictures, and then I'll show my wife what I passed on. Blend coming along, we see in February or March. Not sure when we'll see the next blend, but stay tuned. Hard Truth. Travis Robeson's in the house. How far behind am I now? 16 minutes? That's not okay. I'm gonna speed through these comments and then we'll get caught up. Well, that's nice. That is nice. It almost tastes, well, actually coming off of that 130 proof Green River, which by the way, that's a 130 proof Green River. Alec, I didn't even think of that. That for 130 proof, that Alec Bradley Green River pick is so just wonderful. It does not come across as 131 proof. It's just like a solid pour. Damn. This is what, 108, this Crittendens? It is, this would be like, okay, honestly, actually, this makes total sense. The way that they said that they made this for the ladies in their family to enjoy the whiskey makes total sense, because that's kind of where I was going with this. Would it be like an introductory to a whiskey for wine lovers? This is like that point, because it's very winey, very winey. Oh yeah. The palate progression on here is really good. It dives, dips, and ducks into different parts of like that sherry, but filling in like the crevices of that is a very bold whiskey. Like you're really not getting a ton of whiskey notes out of this. You're getting a lot of wine. It's a lot of red fruit. No, there's really no sulfur on here, which is nice, especially being a sherry cask. How much is that bottle? I have to look. Need to Google it. Bourbon Outfitter, I think is where it came from. The gentleman who sent me these bottles had them delivered from Bourbon Outfitter. So it was funny because Alves called me and he was like, hey dude, someone bought stuff and then used your shipping address. Is that what's up with that? And I was like, oh yeah. He told me he was going to do it. Crittendens, cut above, sherry, $69. Yeah. If you're trying to get somebody into whiskey who loves wine, that is, I would think, I thought that Jim Beam Legent was a good opportunity to do that with, but this is better. Plus you're supporting craft distillery. That's really good. So how much is the next one? How much is the Moth Man? Moth Man. Same price, $69. All right. It definitely doesn't come across as a 4-year-old product either. All right, I need to catch up on chat here. Yeah, I don't have a cobbler either, Clint. Blood pressure, blood pressure. Whiskey allocation is finicky. So when the ADHD Green River pick, very nice. Oh, great. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so I haven't had any cigars in quite a while as my mouth is healing and everything, and like with these prosthetics, but I had to light that one up. How do you get Evernorth bottles? You can. So this is the best way. Either become a member of the Bourbon Junkies Patreon, and they have very cheap tiers, or become a member of the Evernorth Facebook group or the Bourbon Junkies Facebook group. Evernorth Facebook group is the best. That way when they're doing releases, so they have releases at the distillery, then they put things on Bourbon Outfitter and they make it public for Patreon and then public. So if you're a member of their Facebook page, then you find out what's coming out and how to get it. It's the best way to do it. It's awesome. I'm sensitive to finishes, so the cigar is a little much, but they have some solid offerings. Alec, what did I say 19 minutes ago? Who's Alec Bradley? Alec Bradley is the makers of the finest cigars on the planet. Read a book. Are those cigars good for a whiskey guy wanting to? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. As a matter of fact, Alec is like pretty much a master at pairing whiskey and cigars together, so I would 100% take his recommendation on it. The Grand National was a beast. The GNXs and the Grand Nationals, hell yeah. GTP, yep. The Galant VR4 awesome sleeper. That was a 4-door Eagle Talon. It had the 4G63T engine, all-wheel drive Mitsubishi Galant. Same engine and transmission as the Eclipses and the Talons. DSM Diamond Star Motors. So it was Mitsubishi, Eagle, and Plymouth, right? Monte Carlos of the V8s. Man, am I behind? RX-7 was the 90s dream car. Yeah, one of my friend's dads had the twin turbo RX-7. Pretty neat. Just ordered my Alec Bradley pick. Sweet. Hell yeah. Nice. Going through a phase where even lower proof whiskey tastes hot as hell for some reason. Yeah, I could see that. Do you have, especially if you have like heartburn. If you have heartburn, that'll do it too. So this next one is Crittenden's Cut Above Moth Man, bourbon whiskey finish in Moscatel, Naranja, Port, and Sweet Vermouth wine casks. 111.7 proof, 5 years old. Come on, Porter. Breathe, though. Breathe when you do it. Okay, it's not going to come off of there. Unless you just surprise it. Sometimes, when you have a finicky something, you just can't let it know what you're about to do. You know, you have to shock it, give it a little surprise. So, oh man, I'm definitely going to have to get a knife for this wax. There's no possible way I could ever... Come on! Nope. A lot of people wonder if I sharpened my spider coat yet. I sure haven't. How do you even sharpen something that's half serrated? It's half serrated. So how do you I don't even know how to sharpen it. Maybe if I surprise it now, it'll never. Oh yeah, we did it. America. All right. Now compare the Moth Man to the cut above. I gotta keep up. I gotta catch up on chat. I have to. That's got to be next. Close this before problems happen. Oh, dude. Get rid of that. Why don't they ever name cars something like the Ford Realis or the Chevy Elastis? Right. Because things are built to break now. ADHD. Use code ADHD, Scott. Oh man, I'm so far behind. Ever drive 3 on the tree? I have not. Some of your comments, holy shit. You have to talk someone into thinking it's good. Is it good? Do you mean like trying to get somebody into who's not into whiskey? I like disclosure, but way too many words. It was a lot of words. Persimmon? I don't think anybody ever took their first drink of whiskey and loved it. I think it's like it's an acquired taste. You love it after a bit. But unless you're a crazy person, the first sip of whiskey for anybody is like, what in the world? You know? Any seen or heard from the likes? Yeah, I'm in a text chain with Dan and Julie, so they're good. Trevor in Ohio, watching from northern Michigan tonight, UP next month. Nice. Well, where are you headed to in the UP, Trevor? What's up, Stu? How you doing? Heck yeah, Scott. Glad that you were able to pick it up. If you saw the Bruzel video from Iowa a week ago, the bottle I'm drinking come from Liquor Lovers. I did see that video. Interesting name of a store, right? Ooh, this Moth Man smells very nice too. You know, it doesn't... I think this one might be... well... This is finishing a lot of stuff. Didn't I say that? Yeah. Lots of stuff. And it kind of has that to it. It's very... It kind of puts you in, like, it kind of points you in different directions. There's like a wine there, but then it's also darker, like you wonder if it's like... It doesn't smell like one smell. It smells like a variety of things happening in one sniff. There's a variety of different things thrown at you, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not as easy to, like, when I smelled the first one, I was like, oh, that smells like wine. This one, I'm like, whoa, this is a bit more. There's a bit more to it. It's almost tropical. Almost tropical. Like coconutty, or like a pina colada almost. If you like pina coladas, play Pina Colada Berg. Can anybody? Okay, I need this first. I can't do any giveaways because I still have to send out shit. How do I do this? I'll think of something. Play Pina Colada Berg. Name the movie. Name the movie. First person who can name the movie wins my respect. Heavy respect. Play Pina Colada Berg. Okay, where am I? Stuff whiskey, dude. Josh, I got your text today. And thank you for sending me your number. And I promised you I was going to reply. And then I promised you I was going to reply right before this live stream because I remembered and I didn't. Thank you for sending me your number. And I already actually had it in my phone because we texted before about something I said in a video that made sense. Then I looked up your number. So you're already in my new phone. Your number was already in my new phone. But I appreciate you sending it again. Your buddy had a 500 plus wheel horsepower Talon. The thing was a wild ride. Yeah, I had a friend also, actually, two friends. One who had a very fast all-wheel drive Talon. It was an 11-second car, like on pump gas, easy 11-second car. And then my best friend rebuilt his 91 Talon all-wheel drive at his in his grandma's garage in high school. He rebuilt it and he's put a stroker motor in it. So it was like I think it was a 2.3 liter after stroking it. This is years ago, right? I'm 40. So this is when we were 17. But he put a stroker motor in it and a huge turbo. And then a new clutch, obviously, because it needs a new clutch. But in the process of him breaking in his clutch after the motor was rebuilt and everything, somebody stole his car and set it on fire. So he never actually got to see the fruits of his labor. He never got to drive it, never got to actually even get into boost with it. He just had it stolen by a drunk man who left a bar, and then by the time the guy got, I don't know, probably like 15 miles down the road, and he was leaving an intersection, the clutch was not broken. So the dude driving the car was probably like, what in the hell's wrong with this piece of shit? Because the clutch would just slip, try to get into power, and then the clutch would just slip. So he made it like probably 15 miles or so before what we imagine is the clutch just completely burnt up in the middle of an intersection. So the stop sign, he probably couldn't go any further. in the middle of the intersection, torched that bitch. And it was on the news in the morning. Car in the middle of the intersection in flames. And he had hood pins in it. And the firefighters like trying to pry the hood open with like a crowbar, like trying to pop the hat, like the latch. He couldn't tell. He could with all like the flames and shit. He couldn't see that there were hood pins. That thing was toasted. Toast. Poor guy. The weirdest weird foamy wax. I kind of like that wax. Dude, Cameron's here. Cameron was here 9 minutes ago. Hopefully he's still here. Love you, Cam. Drive safe, buddy. Beach Sand Bourbon, $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Cheers, Matt. Spring Lake, Michigan here. I know Beach Sand. I need to get back there and say what's up, you know? Another fucking super chat. Moth Man, pretty good. I prefer the sherry. Take my knives to the guy that sharpens knives at the farmers markets. That's smart. Smart thinking. Have somebody else do it. Weirdly enough, I get more sulfur off the nose of the Moth Man than I do. I don't get any sulfur on the sherry cask finish, but on the Moth Man, I'm getting that a little bit. But it's not. It's Moscatel, Naranja, Port and Sweet Vermouth wine casks. Yeah, there is a bit. It's not strong, but it's there. It also has the smell of like a cherry wood. A little bit of a lumber note. Almost smells like it's put in a toasted barrel or like a double oaked barrel. A little bit. All right, don't hatch. Moth Man. Damn. That is good too. It's a bit pointier, a bit sharper, more jagged on the palate. If the two Crittendens bottles I just tried were roofs, the sherry cask finish would be a dome, whereas the Moth Man would be an A-frame on the palate. The sherry cask is much more rounded and beautiful. The Moth Man is much more sharp, jagged, and abrasive, but I think that with air that could round itself out. That's not something that I'm going to say is a trait of that pour from here on out. I could see it getting some air and changing a bit. What the hell is Cam calling me for? Hello, Cameron.
Hey, buddy, your Dan Shook, another fucking super chat is looming right now.
Oh, dude, thank you.
You might want to know. It's been flight for 5 minutes. I'm getting gas right now, but I just stop and call you.
Thanks, Cameron.
Yeah, man. All right, I'll see you.
Right. That was Cameron calling to tell me that that was on loop. Why is it on a loop? So the computer is muted so that there's no like feedback with music and stuff. But yeah, apparently that was on loop and you couldn't hear maybe any of the smart things I said. I'm sorry. Cameron, thanks for calling, dude. Glad I answered. Jeez Louise. Club Dread, yes, 20 bag donuts. Got it first. Wasting away again. Wait, that's Margaritaville. Oh, he wrote that song 3 years before Margaritaville was even on the map. I can't believe that was looping like that. Woodyville, love this pick. Have one back up left. Lake Fork guy, he says. Love it. Thanks, Bourbon Hunter. I'm not going to play another Super Chat song because apparently... Yeah. Totally forgot about the incident with that car. Oh, is that the one when the... Bro, you're looping another Super Chat? Dude, I don't... No, I had no idea. I had no idea. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't caught up in chat. I was still behind, so I didn't see it, and then my computer's on mute. So that's it. So many, I'm sorry. It's not monetized anyway, so that's alright. I'm gonna lose my mind. Dude. Oh, $2 phone. That's bad. Kind of like the Super Chops. Yeah. Man. Cam ruined it. I would have got there eventually. I would have got there right now. I feel like what I said about the Moth Man really made a lot of sense. I was talking about how it's an A-framed house and the sherry finish was more of a dome, well-rounded, but you couldn't even hear that or pay attention to it because of Shook just saying, No, Super Chat. Jeffrey Wax here. What's up, Jeff? How's it going? Super Chat song stuck in my head. Yeah, it wasn't even the full-length version. It was just the shortened version. Yikes. All right. Yeah, Mothman versus the cut above sherry finish. Ooh. Weirdly enough, the Mothman, the older version, the older varietal, has some youthful, little bit crafty notes coming through. It is a bit craftier. This one, the cut above, is so heavily sherry finished that the younger whiskey in this bottle is just like blanketed by the sherry cask. Protected, you could say. My vote goes for the sherry cask finish. Levels above the cut above Mothman. Both good though. And what, for $70? Super glad to have those. Those are nice. What's the Mothman story? Is there a big story on here? Oh, a whole shitload of shit. Let me see if I can paraphrase it. The second release in our Cryptid series? Ooh. Emerging from the mystical town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This could actually be a good story and worth reading. Mothman embodies the spirit of Appalachia, where the Ohio and rivers converge. Mothman is depicted as a large black creature with hypnotic, glowing red eyes and a form resembling a slender, muscular man standing 7 feet tall with expansive wings. His arrival is often seen as portent, particularly linked to the tragic Silver Bridge collapse on December 15th, 1967, which claimed 46 lives in the deadliest bridge disaster of modern times. Wow. This would be a good history lesson. I don't know. I love it because they share their stories in these. And I love that about a whiskey. Like, they're obviously interested in this Mothman story, and their Cryptid series must all be things like this. Crittendens, small craft distillery in friggin' Mississippi, high five. Psh. Thank you, Bruzel, for putting it on the map. First, I know Cameron has talked about them as well. And then, thank you, unnamed sender, for sending me these to taste, because I eventually would have gotten to them, to Crittendens, but that's awesome. The color on them, super dark too. Hell yeah. We're not done yet though. We got some more stuff here we can go through. Chucky Larms is here. Any sherry finished bourbon compare? I have so much shit everywhere. America. Oh, look, another Sean Paisley cork. Nothing. Because it's tiny. Just kidding. Kids probably got a beast. This is Legend, which I made a video about a long time ago, and I called Legend a guilty pleasure whiskey, because not a lot of people loved it, but I really enjoyed it. It is lower proof. It's 94 proof, finished in wine and sherry casks, which is funny because sherry is a wine, but still. We can try this Legend against it. And then, honestly, I have a 4-gate pick that the 4-gate that I have was 4 Roses finished in California red wine casks. Not sure how that would compare either. Okay, let's go to the Legend. The Legend feels like it has been touched by a wine cask. Yeah, the Legend smells like it's been like a little bit of a whisper of wine cask has been just sprinkled on it, whereas the Crittendens smells concentrated. It's a very heavily wine finished product. That Legend is still good though. It is nutty because of the Jim Beam profile, but the hint of sherry and like the hint of that wininess enhances it a bit. But I think that if I were to taste that without the Crittendens, that it would be more wine forward. But after the Crittendens, it hardly tastes like anything but Jim Beam. Yeah, it's good. Wonder if maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll start a channel called Matt Learns Wine. And I just sit there and listen to Barrel King Jared. He like says a bunch of nerdy stuff about wine and uses a lot of big words I don't understand. And he has friends who he talks on the phone with in front of me, and they talk about it. Gosh, it's exhausting. But they do sound smart when they talk about it. Crittenden is badass, dude. His rides are perhaps the most underrated out there right now. Perhaps, says Cameron. Cameron, you're driving, dude. I know that you typed Crittenden in your phone and it didn't go voice to text because your phone's not that smart. Unless you enunciate so perfectly, which you kind of do. Actually, that could be voice to text, because Cam feels like a dude who would put a comma after Matt and before Crittenden. If he typed it, I think he would put Matt, comma, Crittenden is badass, dude. Or maybe he's driving so he didn't have time for a comma. But I don't think voice to text puts Crittenden in there. I don't think it does. Drive safer. We love you. Nipple cork. How's the New Riff Malted Sherry compare? I don't have one of those to compare to. Can't wait for the Knob Creek cask strength pick. Haven't got my sample pack yet. I'm waiting for my Knob Creek box. I don't have that yet, but once I do, I'll do a live stream picking the first Knob Creek cask strength pick, known to Matt. Anyway, I did pick a Nashville Barrel Company barrel that I need to actually message them and tell them which one I picked. This Nashville Barrel Company sent me 7-year, 8-year, 9-year, and a 10-year sample. And I tasted them blind, and the 2 7-years were my favorite. Coming to find out, that's the same, coming from the same lot of barrels that Fred Minnick picked for his number 4 whiskey of the year in his top 100. Really damn good. So I picked a 7-year, which is good for me, good for Patreon, because it's one of the cheaper offerings, $99 instead of $120 or $150. So one of the younger offerings from there, but one of the best. Can it show us on the bunny? What the hell? ADHD wino. What's the most you've paid for a bottle of wine? Me? Can I tell you how much I almost paid for a bottle of wine? I almost paid like $300 for a bottle of wine, or maybe I don't remember. Was it $3 or $3.50, something like that? I might have it in my phone, actually, a picture of it. There was my old phone. That's why I've got it here. I'm trying to turn it on. Battery must be dead. Son of a bitch. When I was in Bourbon, Missouri it was right after the Ben Holiday pick, myself, Alves, Dan, and Sean, we drove from Holiday down to Barrel King. And we spent a couple days there, and we worked on batch 92, was it? I think it was batch 92 we were working on. Might not have been 92. Which one's 92? Probably not. It was the Oh My Apple Pie one. But anyway, we worked on the blend at Barrel King together. Where was I going with? Oh, the wine. Anyway, we were staying at this Airbnb or this rental in the middle of nowhere in Bourbon. This on a lake, super like isolated but awesome. Jared brought some bottles of wine, and one of them was absolutely tremendous, and it was a Sauternes. So I took a picture of it, and I'm looking for a bottle of it because I wanted my wife to try it. I wanted to have a bottle of it for a special occasion for Carissa and I. And then we were in like a Denver suburb on the way back from Michigan this summer. We stopped there, bought a couple bottles of wine, or a couple bottles of bourbon, but they had the smaller version of it. It was like a half bottle of it, like a 375 milliliter, and it was a different year of that Sauternes. And if I knew it was the same year, I would have bought it, and I would have regretted it because it's a ton of money for wine. But it was a different year, a different, what do wine people call it? A different, shit. I would have felt so smart had I come up with the word right away. A different, I'll think of it, don't look at the screen. Shit, I can't remember. This is why I could never be good at wine. Wine drinkers would never put up with this. They'd be like, oh, he's stupid and fat. Eat more cakes, fat man. You bourbon drinkers can get it a little bit better. Excuse me, coughing. Cam just pulled in his driveway, that's good. That was also 4 minutes ago. A different vintage. I'm not there yet. I'm only down to Alec's comment that says, I know it has Nicaraguan, Honduran, Indonesian, and Dominican, and Colombian tobacco in it. Not sure what he's talking about, but if anyone said vintage, I'm not there yet. I'm gonna pay about $3.50 for a bottle of wine. It was Chateau Loch Ness Monster. What? Chateau Loch Ness Monster. Yes, yep. We got there eventually. Vintage, different vintage. I've not tried the Murray Hill Special Release 4. I've heard Jason Mashing Drum talk about it, but I have not tried it. All right, so we've got these samples here. So what I was going to originally do tonight was do a flight of things I have not tried before. I've done this in the past, and it's been pretty cool, but I thought that I could do that. But we did this Crittendens and the Green River instead, so I don't have enough in me for an entire flight. But we can taste a couple of these. So I'm gonna... Was it Chateau de... Oh, dude, I think it was. Maybe not. Crap. It's so hard for me to... I don't remember it. You know what? It's not that late. It's not that late in Bourbon, Missouri. I'm going to call Jared. He'll know. It's like my dream bottle of wine. Might be too late. It's 4. It's bad. 5. I should hang up.
Your call has been...
He must be sleeping. He would have remembered. He would know. Like, hey, what's your... So it can't be that big of a dream bottle of wine, considering you don't even remember the name of it. But... Chartreuse. I don't know. Where was I? Oh, so these are the samples that I can taste through tonight. We can do a couple of them. These are sent from Bill Kavanaugh, who is the man. One of them is Ransom, sourced MGP using Oregon water. 16-year MGP, 125 proof. Ransom. Never heard of it. We also have Paul Sutton, bottled and bond, 6-year. We have Shoover, single barrel, 14-year. 101.2 proof. I don't want that right now. It's a wheat whiskey. Penelope Estate Collection, 10-year. Name that movie, Club Dread. Found North Peregrine, 126.2 proof. Peregrine. Or Preservation Pot Still, single barrel. What should we taste? Cameron paid $2 to say he's very curious about that ransom. I'll kidnap a Cameron and hold him for ransom. On the super chat. All right, we'll do the ransom first. Then we'll do another one after that. So this one is preservation, okay. First things first, Mr. Bill Kavanaugh, thank you very much for this sample of Ransom. 16-year sourced MGP using Oregon water. Batch 125 proof. Now, I am a guy who tastes a lot of MGP. 16-year. So if it's from 2024, 2024, let's say 2024 minus 16. What is that, 2008? Distilled in 2008, maybe? Color on it is, it's fairly dark. Actually, yeah, pretty dark. For not being finished, for it just being... Now, Oregon water. Oregon water is that a good water? I don't know. Never heard of anything spoken highly about Oregon water. Okay, Canada Super Chat, so you need to play the song. Alright, well I need to turn my volume so I know what
Another fucking super chat.
we did it. Do you have plans for your next stream? I have stuff I want to send blind if you're into it. I'd love that, Cam. I don't have anything planned for my next stream. I do have a few collaborations like in line, but there's no date set. So if you want to send a flight, I'd be happy to do it for the next stream. Not sure if I'm going to be streaming next Friday or not. Bowling tournament with the kiddos. And of course me. I'm bowling in it as well. Youth adult portion of it. But send it, dude. I might do it from a hotel room. Might even do it from a hotel room. That'd make it actually much easier on me if I had a flight from Cameron to do from a hotel room. You ever just look at all your whiskey and not know what to pour, so you just drink something like Wild Turkey 101? I do that all the time. Alec? No. No. If I look at it and I don't know what to pour, I pour... You know, actually, kinda. I used to pour Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. That used to be my go-to. I used to love it so much. But then they got not good, so I don't have that anymore. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Lately, I've been in an oaky mood, so I'll go to something oaky, you know? My Knob Creek 18 bottle's pretty low. I think that the Turkey 70th Anniversary 101, that's something I could go to. But when you said you have so much of it and you don't know what to do, when you have so much of it, like, Wild Turkey 101 is great. But it's like, you only have so many drinks in you, you know what I mean? So if you're surrounded by... and I'm not saying I have the greatest collection on the planet, that belongs to Bill Kavanaugh, but I've got enough good things where I'm like, if I'm going to have a pour, then we'll make it really good. Or, you know, at least very good. Turkey 101's still great, still good. And if I did not have all of this, if I wasn't a YouTube channel, would I be happy with Wild Turkey 101? Absolutely. But I have like 650 bottles of whiskey. It's too much. Ooh. Huh. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm going into this 16-year Ransom 125 proof MGP. And I have some sort of an alert going off. Some sort of a there's like a bell or a whistle or like man, I haven't tasted. Well, no, Gatsby is 15 years, but it's not cask strength. Part of it feels artificial. Oh, dude, that's so funny. That's the comment that Josh from Stuff and Whiskey he sent me a text the next day, because I literally made that comparison, and then he texted me the next day and said, great comparison. And I was like, that's amazing that it actually made sense. The way that some people pick up on artificial sweeteners in diet beverages, and they're like, I can't drink it because of the aspartame. Like they can't, like it's just a weird flavor that stands out to them. That's the way double oaked products stand out to me. It's like if I'm used to drinking diet soda or like zero sugar soda, so if I get a regular Coke, which happened to me at the bowling alley 2 weeks ago, new kid working, doesn't know the drill, son of a bitch, ruined my night. The regular Coke. I don't need sugar mouth. You know what I mean? Gives me bad breath, gives me sticky. Don't like it. But when you taste something like that, you're either on one side of the fence or the other. And a double oaked note is like the aspartame of diet sodas. It's like the fake oak. It's like, oh, wait a minute. You're cutting corners here. It's not actually old. It's sweet, but without the calories. And part of me thinks that there's something about that on here, but the other part of me is like, maybe not. Maybe this is just how MGP tastes and smells when it gets older. Smells. I haven't tasted it yet until now. Ransom, down the hatch. I was wrong. That's legitimate 16-year-old. But it's different. Holy shit, that's weird. That is the most cola. We say cola notes a lot. It didn't go, when I tasted it, it went in a different direction I thought it was gonna go. That's gotta be the 36% 16 year. That's gotta be the high rye MGP mash bill. I thought it, wow, that's strange. Second sip is gonna be interesting because the first sip, I thought it was headed in a direction and it just friggin' e-braked it. Like, and just took, you know, like trying to evade the police, you know, trying to get away. But luckily, I was glued to it and stuck with it. That's interesting. Much more spicy than I thought it was gonna be, but not spicy in like, when I say spicy, maybe what I mean is it's not as sweet as I thought I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get like dive deep into dark, thick, rich, like cherry goo, but it didn't. It veered in a different direction. Where did I put it? Is this it? Yeah, that's it. What on earth? Now going back to the nose makes sense. What's your bourbon offer code so I can give you credit for this combo? Oh, ADHD. Shit, 6 minutes late. Use code ADHD at checkout. ADHD. How much of the Bafurky juice have you tried? Only what Cameron has sent me. So a couple samples of it. A collection or a selection? Dude, anybody who says that their whiskey isn't a collection, they're lying to themselves. Like, if you have I have a selection, not a collection, it's not true. That's not true at all. It sounds good, and you don't want people to think that you're collecting. You can still have a collection of open whiskeys. Just because you have, like, just because they're open doesn't mean you cannot call it a collection. Hey. It's like Pokemon. People got to catch them all. Now, there are, like, diehards who have to have everything in the collection, or there are just people who pick up things. It is I mean, you are collecting, and like it's a collection of bottles. Now, while building your collection, you're building out a selection. You are in the midst of building your collection, you're differentiating different things that are similar, right? Like let's say you have 20 different Russell's picks. You get them because you know you like them, but they're a bit different. But they're also that is something that you're collecting of sorts. Maybe you're not collecting to keep it or collecting to display it, but in your own mind, it's your collection. If somebody were to come in and remove a bottle from your selection, you would be like, oh shit, now I need to find something else for that selection. But if somebody were to come in and remove a bottle from your collection, you would be like, you son of a bitch. Oh, you know how hard and long it took me to find that bottle for my collection? You know what I mean? Call it whatever you want. I don't call it my collection, but I don't think it's far off if you did. I'm not trying to get the complete set, but I do like to look at it in my towel. What's Clint say? Oh my gosh. What's your... Oh. Dude, Eric, I thought you were standing up for me like, dude, I thought Clinton was going to say something like, what's wrong with this guy? But no, you're just giving him the code. That's funny. How many shots come from a barrel? Yikes. How many ounces are in a shot? 1.5? 25 ounces in a bottle? 230 bottles per barrel? Do the math. Oh. What's Thrasher say? Thrasher's here? Dude, I missed Thrasher? Son of a bitch. There he is. What's up, dude? Man, I miss him. I miss all you guys. Pour yourself a bunch of blind samples. I totally would. But we're not going to get that deep. Okay, now this is warmed in my hand for a minute. Second sip. Shit, that is good. Oh, wow. It has like an effervescent finish. The finish is my least favorite part of this Ransom 16 year. It begins very oily and very like powerfully flavored, but it diminishes towards the back and then kind of ends with a fizzle. So it kind of sizzles out, just like, you know? But I do love it. How much is a bottle of it? Can somebody, so I don't have to go out of the screen, can somebody see how much a bottle of Ransom Batch 1 is? Ransom Batch 1. It's 16 years old, 125 proof. Anybody know about its price and availability? Bourbon Hunter, thank you, dude. Gifted 10 ADHD Whiskey memberships. That's super nice of you. Appreciate it. Drones are way gone. Oh, drones have been gone since September. Drones way gone. Prescription Bourbon, Happy New Year to you as well. Is all of Nashville now? So Nashville Beer Company is, I think they do a lot of Kentucky stuff now. Kentucky and Indiana. You love this year's Gatsby? The Gatsby for me this year got a little weird. It got a little weird for some reason. Like metallic or, I don't know, I have to revisit it. But the last 2 times I've tried it, I was like, huh, something funny about it. Oh, Frank, the way I described it the first time was so much better. I described it so much better the first time. Do you think you have a natural ability to pick up nosing and tasting notes? No, it's been developed for sure. But it's mostly like just muscle memory, like just remembering it's just thinking about things you've tried before. And then, so it's like pattern so tasting notes are based off of memories, like food you've eaten, drinks you've tried, things you've smelled before, childhood memories. Like when I say the double oak stuff reminds me of a lumber section or green lumber or wood stain or lacquer, it's because when I was a kid, those smells were ingrained in my brain, and it's what I smell when I smell it. Other people might not get that, but it's just what, like, it triggers my brain into thinking that, so it's how I feel. But after tasting so many different whiskeys, a pattern develops. So it's more pattern recognition about, like, when I smell something that's a Buffalo Trace product, I'm like, Buffalo Trace. It's because there's so many different, like, there are different profiles, but that one just gets ingrained where it's like, I guess it is based off memory as well, but it's nothing that's nostalgic or nothing that's things you've smelled in the past, but when you become accustomed or like assimilated, I guess, to like different tastes and smells over and over and over again, it's like beaten into you. You know, you could still be wrong, but a lot of times you can be pretty sure based off of the reaction you've had to things before. And you're like, oh wait, it's got that, it's got this, has this. I was wrong on this one. My initial thought on the 16-year Ransom was there could be some like fuckery happening here, pardon my language, mother, but like some sort of double oakness or something. When I tasted it, no, it wasn't there. But it did set off an initial alarm, but I just haven't tasted 16-year-old cask strength MGP. Wait, with Oregon water? Do they water it down? It's not cask strength? How the hell? I don't know. I'm confused. Eight minutes behind. Man. Just opened a Slippin' Jimmy. Wait, Alec, number 1 or number 2? Slippin' Jimmy 1 or Slippin' Jimmy 2? I love both of those. Alright, third and final sip of this Ransom. Now it's warm in my hand. That is phenomenal. It doesn't taste 125 proof. It falls off so quickly. The initial burst of flavor is so good, but it does fall off. If someone told me that was 107 proof, I'd have believed them. You know me 100%. Shit, I wish I knew what everyone was talking about. That's why I need to like keep up with chat. 230. 5,750 in a barrel, shots. But I think a shot is an ounce and a half, and I think that you could squeeze more than 230, because well, how many bottles? 50, a barrel's 53 gallons. So if do 53 gallons, convert it into ounces, and then you can divide that by 1.5 to see how many shots are in a barrel. 125 bucks for the Ransom? Dude, if that's available, I would buy that all day, every day. Not all day, because they could only afford to probably do it once. But I would do it at least once on one particular day. That is, for $125, yes. That's an instant buy. Scroll. Eric Baldwin.
Another fucking super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Eric Baldwin says, hope you're doing well, Mr. Porter. It's been a minute. I'm doing great, Eric. Things are going good over here. It's all good. All good. And I appreciate you for being in the chat tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. There was a couple requests for Schoonover. We'll do the Schoonover single barrel next. And then this will probably wrap up the evening. Math is hard, prescription bourbon. Math is a bitch. Okay, Schoonover single barrel. If I had to give that Ransom a score, it would probably be like an 8.1. I thought it was a great, great pour. Well, no, not great, just great. Okay, this last one for the evening, unless I think of something else I have to do before the end of the night. This is Schoonover single barrel. I've never even heard of this before. It's 14 years old and 101.2 proof. Schoonover, SCHOONOVER. Schoonover. The 16 years are 125, 200 MSRP depending on batch. Gotcha. Slippin' Jimmy 1, just send a picture. Alec is... Ah, yeah, that is Slippin' Jimmy 1. That's the first Slippin' Jimmy. That might be the better of the two. I can't remember. Actually, I've never compared them. I've never compared Slippin' Jimmy 1 to Slippin' Jimmy 2. Slippin' Jimmy 2 is really good, though. Slippin' Jimmy 1 was friggin' OG. Okay. I need to reacclimate myself before I get back in, before I smell this whiskey again. The first smell of this whiskey, never mind. We're going to forget that even happened. We'll go back into it completely. Let's think about something different. We'll think about a song. And we'll get back. I can't wait on this Schoonover, says Travis. All right. That's what I'm drinking now. Schoonover? I hardly know her. Jason Kobe. You friggin' genius. Love you, dude. Oops. Okay, no, Eric, I didn't see what you said. I promise I didn't see what you said. But I'll go back up in a second. Anyway, okay. Second smell, Schoonover. Have any 17 plus hazmat old whiskey short barrels? Is it bourbon or light whiskey? What's the 17-year-old hazmat old Louisville? What type of whiskey is it? Do you use StreamYard? Do you open panel and let... What? Do you use StreamYard? Yes. Do a open panel and let try some... I'm confused. Yes, I do use StreamYard though. It's American, so it's light whiskey. So I haven't tried any of the old Louisville stuff, but Barrel King is sitting on... we have quite a few of the 17-year light whiskey barrels. Some of them are hazmat, some of them are like 135, 136, 138. So I'm very familiar with that profile, and they're really, really good. Some of them. I actually did a blend for a base. I blended a base of them together, which I think are better than some of the single barrels. I probably got lucky with it, but yeah, the 17-year light whiskey stuff, very good. I actually think we have some aging in a new barrel too, like in a new charred oak barrel. Yeah. All right, back to Schoonover. Initial smell. That smells like barrel strength rare stash. What is happening here? Oh. Oh man. This reminds me of a few things that I don't want to talk about. Not because I'm embarrassed to talk about them. It's totally fine. I just don't want to come across as overly mean. It smells very sour. It smells very... Why? How old is this? 14 years old? Why does it smell like that? My oldest daughter... Never mind. It kind of reminds me of... No, I'm not going to do... I'm not going to go there. I don't want... There are things you should say and things you should not. And I'm just going to say that it's sour. It is kind of funky. It makes you like go, If this were an overwhelming smell, like if this smell overwhelmed a vehicle that you were driving, and you rolled down the windows and you couldn't get the smell out, you would not be happy with the smell. This makes sense. This is Dickel. This is George. This is 14 year? This is George Dickel. This is Tennessee whiskey. Why did it take me so long to come to that conclusion? I haven't smelled Dickel in so long. It took me that long to figure out that this is freaking Tennessee whiskey. Like a orange Flintstone vitamin. Yeah. WJK says just catching up. I'm glad I looked this one up before considering it. So, then Jay Wetzel says tickle. Yeah. Oh no, it does, dude. Rare Stash is partly Dickel. That's hilarious. The fact that I said barrel strength Rare Stash and Rare Stash being partially George Dickel makes so much sense. It's a Dickel product sold by Hard Truth in a toasted barrel that has to have been in the box for a while. Yeah. So, Bill, you sent me new stuff. So I grabbed random things that you had sent in the past that I've never tasted before. And I put them together, and I was going to do a flight of just things I've never tasted before. But we didn't get to that point, so I just started grabbing a few things I've never tasted before, and the Schoonover is here. It's got a little wang onto it. It does. Okay, since it's not Schoonover's distillate, nobody, now we know what it is. It reminded me of when my oldest daughter was a baby and she shit through her car seat into the car seat. It reminds me of her diaper, like a diarrhea diaper, which is terrible to say. And I don't quite get that anymore, although I kind of do. That is so weird and wild that it goes there. It gets very, very sour. Ugh. All right, anyway, Schoonover. I'm guessing it's going to taste fine, but down the hatch. Oh, that is leaps and bounds better than it smells. It has that orange Flintstone vitamin, chewable flavor to it. But when I was a kid, I liked those vitamins. I really did. So it's a bit citrusy, orange citrus. If you were sucking on a rock and you squirted some orange in there, it's kind of what that would be. I don't dislike that for a sip. but it has some tea notes to it. It's actually pretty thick and viscous. Knowing what it is, I think that's probably my favorite Dickel product I've had in a very long time. On the palate. The nose, I was not interested. The palate, very interested. That's not bad at all. That's pretty damn good. I'm able to get past Dickel notes on the palate if it comes across right. If it's sharp and bright and thin, it gets, that mineral profile gets out of control and spiky and brash very quick. The age on this and the viscosity to it really like lend a helping hand to the flavor profile, and I actually enjoy that. If it were, I'd buy a bottle of it if it were affordable. I'm not sure how much these things cost, but if it were like under $100, I'd pick up a bottle of Shoover. Wow, the smell though. Let me do a commercial for Shoover. Camera ready? Yeah. Shoover. Don't smell it. Just drink it. How about that? It's pretty good. I actually like that a lot. Very good. Very, very good. I like that actually way more than I thought it would. Then I say it, then it gets a bit bitter again. Don't get heavy yourself, man. It's fine. Definitely over $100. Man, $150? No. We're not. Shanks. Sour baby diarrhea. Barrel had some luck toasting the Dickel stuff in the barrels. You know what? Let's do this. This is funny. This will be my last sip of the evening, but I sent this to Cameron. I shot a review of this before. This was sent to me by somebody who I love very much, and I did not buy it because it's like at the point a $500 whiskey. And what this whiskey is good for is this. It sits on this little table next to me, and it holds a Nest cam so that when I have babysitters, I can turn on the Nest cam and make sure that kids aren't getting into my whiskey. Because I feel like to be a responsible adult, I shouldn't let high school kids get into my whiskey. So there's a Nest cam that sits here on top of this box. And if that's the best thing your $500 bourbon is good for, America. That says something. Anyway, this is Barrel Craft Spirits. Was it Gold Label? Is that what it is? Something like that. Gold Label. 113.54 proof. Distilled in Tennessee, Indiana, and Kentucky. America. Is Shoover's better than this? And this is how we'll end the night. Pretty heavy cork, but should be heavier for $500. Actually, I think the price went down since then. Back to where you go. Nest cam back on top. Perfect. All right. Where did I put it? There it is. My problem is I like all the weeders. What's your fave? Probably that. It's an asshole thing to do. Sorry. Buffalo Trace weeded bourbons are the best weeded bourbons you can buy. When Heaven Hill products get to a certain age, their weeded products get phenomenal. So any old Fitz that's like 13 plus years old, really good. Rebel Yell 10 year is probably my favorite weeded bourbon that you can find regularly if you live in the right area, because those barrels are usually like 13 years old. They say 10 year on them, but they're usually older than that. Younger weeded products are hard to make not funky. I did a blend for Barrel King this year. It was batch 85. It was called Wheatish Fish, and it was 7-year weeded bourbon. And I felt like the final product of that was phenomenal. Like, it got a lot of the funky weirdness out of it and just turned into a very enjoyable sweet pour. But if you... Even younger weeded Buffalo Trace bourbon is pretty good. Weather Special Reserve, Antique, those are pretty damn good. But a lot of other products have to get older before the funkiness gets aged away. Some people say it has to do with barrel entry proof. Some people say that weeders just suck. I don't know. They're difficult. They're a very finicky whiskey. What is Travis Robeson posting? Tune in tomorrow night for a special stream on Big Vic's channel, helping his family member that's been affected by the LA fires. Oh, damn. I'm sorry, Big Vic. So this is the link for tomorrow night. What time does that start, Travis? There's got to be... I've been following those fires, but also at the same time, like... It's just, that's crazy. It's so crazy. I try to put in perspective how many acres that is if it were somewhere else. So like, I actually looked at a map last night on my phone. I searched for like, what I searched for. I searched it up. US map with like acreage overlay, because I wanted to gain perspective of like how much 40,000 acres is. And it's a lot. If it were a national forest, it would be a lot. But it's knowing that a lot of that was heavily populated is very scary. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, go Big Vic. Yes, we have more than 34 bottles plus for the fundraiser. 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 187 people here. Go over there at least to show some love tomorrow night over to Big Vic's channel. Man, it could literally be any one of us at any time, at any point, because shit's crazy. Furnace is on. That means it's time to go. This reminds me a lot of this. These smell very similar. It's gonna get louder in a second. The Barrel's Craft Spirits Gold label smells a bit darker and deeper, but not much. Very similar. The furnace is rocking and rolling. That means that since we started streaming, the temperature inside our home has dropped by more than 5 degrees. All right, Barrel Craft Spirits Gold label. The Shoover's better. The Shoover's better. It's thicker, oilier, better, like more well-rounded. The barrel is sharper, more jagged. Does a sharp dance on your palate. The Shoover is better than the Barrel Craft Spirits Gold label. And I haven't tasted that Gold label in a while. Huh. That's weird. That is a weird box of whiskey. All right. Keith says, what would be your death meal? 5 pours. Oh, your final flight. My final flight would be. All right, this is actually a hilarious and fun question. Mixture celebration. Hold on a second. All right. Mixture celebration. Mixture's 25. Mixture's 20. Wait, no. It's hard. I haven't had 25 enough. Mixture celebration. Mixture's 20. Van Winkle 23 year. King of Kentucky. And a 1984 Wild Turkey 101. My birth year. So the last pour I would go out on would be the pour I came in on. So 1984 Turkey 101 would be my final sip before I was electrocuted to death or kicked the bucket by natural causes. However we did this last flight. Great question though. And thank you for the super chat. I love that question. But if that were to ever happen, subject to change. I might change my mind. Van Winkle 23 years totally oak. Dude, I know. I know it's totally oak and I love it. I love it hard. So if I were to do those in, what order would I put them in? The 84 turkey's got to go last. The King of Kentucky is super powerful. So it'd have to go Mixture's 20. But what's the proof on Mixture's 20? I might have to start with the Van Winkle 23 and ramp up. Might have to go Van Winkle 23, Mixture's 20, Celebration, King of Kentucky, and then end it with the birth year bottle. Turkey decanter, right? Oh yeah. Coy Hill Small Batch. Coy Hill Small Batch is phenomenal whiskey, but it's not like when I think of my last flight ever, that doesn't come into play, even though it's such an astounding, powerful, maybe if like there was, it doesn't come into play with a flight at the end. It just doesn't. But it is one of the best whiskeys I've ever tasted in my entire life, by far. Dude, Bro loves mixtures. Have you ever had... Mixtures Celebration and Mixtures 20 are they're different, dude. If Kevin, if you've had them and you disagree, I totally understand. Different palates for different folks. If you've never had Mixtures 20 or Mixtures Celebration, then they're like the whiskeys that you're like, oh shit, there are levels to this game. It's like a level up whiskey. Oh, the furnace turned off. Thoughts on Old Forester sourcing barrels from now on? Is that what's going to happen? Are they sourcing barrels now? I think that it's interesting, actually. I get shit for a lot of these questions I ask distillers and blenders and stuff. Like, we were at Michter's, and this is with Alec and Dan and Sean, and we were talking with their master distiller, and he was talking about how they use only the finest grains. Like they source the absolute best organic corn, like known to man. Right? Like very, very proud of the grain they use. And I asked the question because I feel like it's a legitimate question. And that's like, have you ever used the most shitty, cheapest, genetically modified corn you could find? Like, have you ever like experimented with the worst? Like you were just like, you know what, screw it. Let's try to buy the worst corn we can get, make whiskey out of that and see how it turns out. And everybody laughed at me. They thought it was a silly question. But I'm like, it's not silly because if you've never, like, how do you know that what you're buying is the best if you've never tried the worst? You know what I mean? He never did that, though. They never did that. Where did that come from? There was a, so another question I asked was Chris Fletcher at Jack Daniels. So Jack Daniels has their own cooperage. They make their own barrels. So questions I ask, this is the way my brain works. Number one, have you ever barreled whiskey that has not been through the, wow, my brain sucks sometimes. My brain works in some ways and sucks in others. Without the charcoal filtration. I'm sorry. You guys know what I mean. The process, the Lincoln County method, like the charcoal filtration. Have you ever bottled Jack Daniels that has not been charcoal mellowed? That seems to be a legitimate question, right? Because how does that whiskey taste versus the charcoal mellowed version? But in the same thought, I asked, do you have anything aging in barrels from a different cooperage that are not Jack Daniels barrels? How does that affect the flavor? Right? Because like if I ran a place and we did things a certain way, everything's charcoal mellowed, everything is aged in barrels that we produce. The little experimenter in me would be like, let's do some shit that's not charcoal mellowed and keep it on the lowdown to see what that tastes like. But also let's friggin' source some barrels from, you know, somewhere else. Let's get some like Calvin Cooperage barrels and like throw whiskey in that and see what it tastes like then. How do I feel about if Brown-Forman's if Old Forester's not getting their barrels? I know that they closed down that facility, but I didn't read into it too deep. Does that mean that there are no longer any Brown-Forman barrels being produced, or just they're not making as many? If they're getting barrels from somewhere else, that adds an interesting twist to Old Forester whiskey. Is Old Forester whiskey going to be different? Absolutely. The barrel makes a huge difference. So it'll be interesting to see how that whiskey changes. You know, actually, if they're no longer using barrels that they're producing, that's a huge moment in history. It's like there's a line drawn, right? So in 20 years, people will be like, or even in 10 years, why does this Old Forester taste different than this Old Forester from 10 years ago? And then there will be a decisive point in time where it's like, Brown-Forman barrels, not Brown-Forman barrels. So, interesting. Just became a Barrel King Gold member, sold. Cheers from Virginia. Thanks, Kevin Stancic, you son of a bitch. High five. Nux. Slap on the ass. If you want that. If you don't, would never even think about doing it. Thought that the Master Whiskey Bottle and Bottle would be in your top 5. That was high up for you. Top 5 of all time? Oh, you mean like in the final flight of my life? It's good to consider. But I think that, you know, Michter's 20. They sold the cooperage a few months ago. Okay, that makes sense. All Brown-Forman is abandoning cooperage. Shit, okay. Ransom details sent to you by text, so I had to catch up. Okay, I'll look at that. Creative experiments? Yes. We're looking into it, Jeff. I've got, actually, text Jared today some experiments I'm looking to do. Ransom, handcrafted with pure Oregon water. Okay. Bill, if you're still watching this, the funny thing, it's like when you get your first checkbook and you have to write a check, it's like check number, and then you're like, oh, this doesn't look great. Batch number on the Ransom bourbon. Batch number 00001. They really left some digits, huh? We could be at 99,999 batches by the number of zeros they left before the 1. Batch 00001. Wonder why they stopped at 4 zeros and didn't do more. At some point, it just becomes kind of funny, right? Like, what if they put 12 zeros before the 1? Batch 0000000000001. That's 11. Bottle number 00157. Made by hand, no robots. It's pretty good, though. The Ransom's good. The Ransom's real good. Thumbs up or thumbs down on holiday soft red wheat. Not a 107 killer like I was told, just my thought. Hills Grows. I've been shouting this from the tallest of rooftops for a while. Just because there's another wheated bourbon does not make it an acceptable replacement for Weller products. Just because you share a similar recipe doesn't make it taste the same. So anything that is wheated, none of the wheated products I've ever tasted, closest being MGP, the closest is MGP, but none of the standard, traditional, even craft wheat bourbons, the wheated bourbons, are not a replacement or another option if you want something like a Weller 107. The best option, the best replacement, the best alternative to a Weller product, if you can't find a wheated Weller product, is just another Buffalo Trace product. And that'll make you happier. If somebody brought you a flight of Weller Antique 107, E.H. Taylor small batch. What was that noise? Shit. Let's go even like Buffalo Trace, Weller Special Reserve, and any wheated bourbon on the planet. And they told you, or they asked you, pick the Weller 107. And you had 5 pours, 4 of them being Buffalo Trace distillate, 1 of them being a wheated bourbon from a different distillery. 100 times out of 100, if you love whiskey, if you love bourbon, if your palate is like semi-acclimated to what you actually like and what you actually know, you would never ever pick the other wheated bourbon as being the 107. Every single time you would have picked a Buffalo Trace product. Every time. That's all I gotta say about that. We're calling it an end to the stream now. Love you guys so much. I'm out of here. We've been live for quite a bit. Thank you for watching. Videos coming out this week. My Bourbon of the Year video is gonna come out. I have a Pappy 15 review that's coming out that I've got some interesting ideas about. I haven't shot it yet, but I'm going to. So a couple videos this week. I might not be live next Friday. If Cam sends me a flight, like he said he might, then I might be live from a hotel room next Friday. Got a bowling tournament with the kiddos. They're doing teams and then singles and doubles and a youth adult. So the kids will be bowling quite a bit next weekend. I'll just be bowling the youth adult with them and hopefully freaking killing it. Oh shit. Another knot strike. That's what's happening lately. Alright, I'm out of here. Love you guys. Have an awesome weekend. Stay safe. Big Vic's tomorrow on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern, for a special live stream where they're raising money for California fire victims, part of Big Vic's family. Be there, giveaways and stuff. From what I understand, I'll be there. I'm going to set a reminder, so see you there tomorrow night. I'm out of here, everyone. See you. Great weekend.